story goes, of course, that Meghan Markle recently couldn't make her way back here to the United Kingdom, London, to see His Majesty the King, King Charles III, after his health diagnosis, simply because she had to stay back and look after the children. As I've said to you before, why on earth couldn't you bring the children? Doesn't really make sense, does it? But there's a bigger picture now looming regarding Meghan, His Majesty the King, and of course her husband, Prince Harry. As ever, let me explain. Morning, how are you? Nice to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Lovely to have your company. By the way, over here we're still getting trigger warnings on theatre productions. You know, I think the latest one is My Fair Lady, the brilliant movie, of course, with Rex Harrison and Audrey Hepburn. It's now a stage musical, you know, popping up somewhere in Leeds. But they put a trigger warning out. They just want letting people know that it's on. It's literally the thing now, isn't it? There'll be a trigger warning to opening a can of beans soon. You know, it's just ridiculous. But that's now how they have to get some publicity. We're not giving them any. I'm not saying where the theatre is. You go find it. Fascinating, isn't it? But there you go. Back as ever to your royal story of the day. As we all know now, Prince Harry made that dash back to see his father, and of course that created a lot of criticism amongst many people because, you know, suddenly he rushed back and then dashed off to present an award in Las Vegas and then kept his commitments out in Canada to the Invictus Games. One might suggest it's a bit of a strange do. You know, why would he suddenly do this? But of course in the interview he said of course he wanted to come and see his father, and you know, you have to take it at face value. It's a natural thing a son would want to do, to check in, make sure everything's okay. But according to a very well placed source, you know, and you have to wonder about this, Meghan apparently thought that she too would be invited. She felt, you know, that this is exactly how a family could unite. Well, one might suggest, as we've said many times before, pop down and see your own father, dearie. But no, he's not a billionaire, is he? So the bottom line is not very useful, some might suggest. Not me, of course, and as ever, allegedly. But the bottom line, what I find strange, is the fact that obviously Meghan truly believed that she will be called as part of the family. But this is a family, you know, that of course is going through their own battles. Not just the Duchess of York and of course Princess Catherine recovering from surgery, but also His Majesty the King and Queen Camilla. Not forgetting, of course, that Harry brought on a lot of stress. There's no two ways about it. I'm not aligning blame for that particular incident, but you know, the stress factor that both he and Meghan have piled on, demanding public apologies and not defending the royal races and stuff like that, very hurtful to someone of those particular years. No two ways. But you see, according to that source, Meghan felt, and this is the bigger thing, that she felt that she could have, you know, reapproached things and maybe got the king and his youngest son back on track. But for whose value, dearie? Now, what's interesting here is, you see, when she didn't get that personal invite, and by that, you know, we're told that Harry spoke to courtiers and said he was coming over, would that be okay? She was expecting some kind of, I don't know, red carpet perhaps, a gilt-edged envelope with please, you know, we request the pleasure of your company. Now, of course, you know, the rumour is that she couldn't leave because she had to look after the children. She could have brought them with her, but of course the children are a bit of a mystery and never really seen. Yes, she can leave them for 3 days at a time to go off, maybe longer, for Invictus, but couldn't fly over for that nanosecond, you know, 24-hour visit to see His Majesty the King because, of course, of the children. Either way, some people might suggest that this is a rather opportune PR spin, and Meghan herself, once again, is mightily miffed that someone had to tell her, in fact, only Harry would be welcome upon receiving the King. Must have been a difficult message to relay, right, Harry? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.